Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Energy for Sales Monthly. So good to see you guys. Welcome. I'm excited to dig in today to a powerful topic. So you all get joined. See the participants climbing here. We'll give it a second. And David and I are excited for this conversation. David's coming from California. He'll be here shortly. He's out there on a business trip, and so I'm excited to dig into his expertise this morning or this afternoon. Morning for him, afternoon for us. But here we are on the airwaves of Zoom. Hopefully, you guys have had a great Monday so far. Happy November 18th. And just next week, obviously, we bumped this one back to the 18th because next week is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving in advance, everybody. But as we think about the holidays, as we think about our business partners, as we think about ways that we can show up differently. We wanted to cover this topic of messaging that matters because I think all of us can either take our foot off the gas as we get through the holidays, and certainly, the holidays should give us space and mental margin to be grateful and to reach out in ways that we typically might not reach out during the year, right? So we want that. But how do we finish strong? How do we not let this next 6 weeks pass us by and miss the golden opportunity to dig deeper and to generate some powerful business conversations? So we're going to dig into that. And just real quick, would somebody drop in the chat here? Just make sure I'm being heard loud and clear. Can you guys hear me okay? Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Cool beans. Well, I'm excited, guys, to dig in. Real quick, just going over some housekeeping, and we'll make this today awesome. Thank you. We'll make this conversation today as short and sweet as possible. I know we have holiday gifts, we have Thanksgiving plans. Some of us will be traveling, moving around, so we'll put a little bit of time back in your day for sure. But we definitely don't want to shortchange any of the messaging, and also going to give you guys some scripting ideas to use. So welcome, David. We're just welcoming the gang and setting the stage for today and telling them you're coming in from the great state of California. And can you hear me okay, David, on your side? Or we'll let David finish connecting to audio. Can you hear me okay? I think he's still connecting the audio. Okay. Um, without further ado, we'll jump in here. So we get asked all the time, are these recorded? And everything we do on the Energy for Sales training platform, we upload to the YouTube channel Energy for Sales because we do have a lot of real estate agent partners. We have a lot of mortgage banking partners. David coming to us from the healthcare channels has a lot of his partners. So we make it in a public forum. Some of you on the call, you're a part of the FNF family of companies, and we do some sales trainings that are more in-depth and intensive to the title space. Those are housed in our internal portal, just FYI on that. So we do get that question a lot. So make sure you're following along on the Energy for Sales channel. And a lot of times people ask too, hey, that was so impactful. I want to share it with my team. May I do that? Yes, Energy for Sales is a public channel. So you always know you have the right and the availability to do that. And then also just real quick, upcoming, I wanted to mention this as we end 2024 strong. David and I are going to be leading a business planning on December the 16th. So again, backing up 1 week for the holiday period in December. But on December 16th at 1:30, and this one we will not shortchange at all. It will be a full hour and a half, no questions. In fact, David, it's often hard to fit in that hour and a half. The start, stop, continue exercise. We'll also dig into one word mantras for 2025. And then we'll also talk about some business. So we'll ask you guys some intensive business questions for your book of business that David and I asked from an executive coaching standpoint. So we're gonna challenge us all, and ourselves included. David and I exchange our own start, stop, continue lists every year. So everything we go through is stuff we're going through as we end. I'll tell you, the exercise for me, while sometimes hard to carve out on my schedule, has always generated more revenue, more mental margin. It's generated better relationship personally in my life by putting myself through intentional business planning that's based around vision, based around yourself as a person who you want to be. It's very, very powerful, which will then tee up January's training, which we will dig into vision boards. I'm huge about vision boards. You guys know this about me. I'm a big believer in your mind can only achieve, or you will only achieve what your mind believes, and believing, seeing is believing. So what we put in, we get out. So David, I know we've shared what's coming up, and by just December 16th, please highlight that on the calendar. It's a backup again, just like this month because of the holidays. But David, I'm going to stop sharing. Welcome, man. I know you're out in California on rocking clients' lives out there and just making impact everywhere you go. But I'm excited to dig into this conversation today, messaging that matters, especially to finish the year strong. But anything you would add, just as we lay the groundwork and set the context, like what's going on in your world? What are you seeing? What does your team need? What are you seeing from leaders across the country? What do their teams need right now? What do we need as sales professionals?
Well, of course, we're sitting here with, and I'm guessing you can hear me. I'm in a different setup.
We're good. We can hear you.
Perfect. The pressure right now, we're sitting here past the midpoint of November. We have a holiday coming up. December will fly by just as quickly as the rest of the year. That pressure to really drive results is going to be inherent from top down. So that's always there. Though also the right, looking at 2025, which our session next month will help a lot to prepare yourself to understand what things are holding you back, what do I need to stop doing, what do I need to double down on to really accelerate. That will be a great session, and one word personal mantras. It's interesting. I've already looked out in 2025 and I have a really good feel. I've had a couple weeks to settle into what I feel will be mine. I shared it with Tim. We will soon get our start stop continues. But a lot of pressure. The world's changing. We just went through an election. Hopefully the country will come back together. But business people are looking at a quick start to 2025. So time to really connect, messaging that matters, connections that matter. They can then both create a great start into 2025, but also wrap up, a strong year. It's funny, Tim, you and I have talked about, we're in unprecedented times, and every day is unprecedented times. Every day is and
Yeah.
we've joked about it. The country has been through a lot, organizations have been through a lot, and families have gone through a lot. So really excited about the next session, where I'm focusing with my team again, building strong pipeline, moving things forward, creating those opportunities that are going to help us succeed in 25. I'm not giving up 2024, but if you can have some forward thinking of how am I going to position myself, what can I do now,
Yeah.
to then prepare myself. One little trick, people talk about, and we'll get into this next month. There are New Year's resolutions. I have found if you start them now, if you can identify those start, stop, keeps, those things you need to do, if you start them now, by January 1st, you'll have 5-6 weeks into it. You're already into it being a behavior that you're used to. Those are the ones that stick. The traditional, here are my New Year's resolutions, and then you don't get an accountability partner, and you don't visualize them. You don't have a vision board. Please don't go into January wanting to figure out. I'm going to say the T word there. We don't say trying. Wanting to figure out what it is next you're going to be like. Now's the time to do that. Put in that time wherever your place is. If you like to go out into the mountains, do a walk, go to the beach, wherever that place that you can get inside of yourself, do that, and begin to set yourself. In addition to really enjoying Thanksgiving and really enjoying the holidays around the corner, that's just kind of where I am, where I'm leading my people. I'm hoping they're following, and set yourself up for success. Though also go get what's out there right now.
Six
Comp
weeks.
plans, yeah,
6 weeks.
that's it.
David, I like that you said a couple of things you said. Number one, you said pipelines. Working with your team to really dig into pipelines. If you guys missed last month, go check the recording out on the YouTube channel. pipelines and having strong conversations around pipelines. I find as I coach teams, we don't do this enough. We budget around our customers, and our customer never knows how we budgeted them. They don't know. So having a conversation with them, if you want to find a really good script for the end of the year, that's it. Go listen to that recording and think about how you can take a budget that you created, because we all have projections, and then including them in that conversation. And we dug into that. Now, while I'm delivering a holiday basket, or while I'm delivering a donation to my top client's big charity, or while I'm delivering something, I'm not always packaging that, and neither do I want to package that with a hey, we budgeted this around you. Now this needs to be happening. The budget conversation needs to be happening truly September, October, I believe, unless your fiscal year is in some industries in March, and it might be a January, February conversation as you plan, whatever your fiscal year is. But again, the holidays, the next 6 weeks, I believe there's some specific messaging that can, to the second point I want to articulate, was January. If you can get ahead of January with your own goals, think about it this way. I coach a lot of teams that when we get to January, it's very dry. It's very empty. And some of the best times, now I get it. Some of your clients are going to be out that first week, but some of the best meetings, some of the best visits, some of the best sit downs, some of the best discussions is when it's cold, when it's slow, and when you can sit down for a coffee or get on a virtual Zoom with your clients or prospective clients in January. I would be working right now. Don't try to, here's the thing. If you don't have it already on the books, it's probably going to be a little hard right now to go say, hey, are you traveling between, or are you can we get something on the books? If the beginning of December is not already booked for you, you may want to adjust, just look up a little bit more. We need to be a little bit more like my buddy he races motorcycles. He's like, dude, I got to look, way out there, because that curve is going to be here before. We need to look at January right now, and we need to start filling the calendar of January with some really good conversations, some really good meaningful conversations to our best business partners and our prospective business partners. That's what we need to be looking at right now to finish strong. Here's what's going to happen. If you reach out for that visit now, if there's something hot today, you're going to learn about it today when you're reaching out for that visit. And it's going to be very respectful reaching out, because you're reaching out with bandwidth, you're reaching out with time. If you are caught in this trap right now of, I need one more deal before the end, or I want another deal, then we're going to come off beggy trying to squeeze something in, and that's not going to bode well for our business partners. So again, I'm not so rigid where I can't say go take a lunch on December the 11th, but if that truly comes available and it would generate business. But what I will say is be more intentional right now with loading January and leveraging some good messaging right now around the holiday season that shows that you care. And we're going to dig into that. We're going to dig into a structure for messages right now that you can start sending right now today. We're going to dig into a structure. We're going to use some scripts, but the biggest piece is the structure of that. Because I don't, scripting is kind of it's a tongue-in-cheek word for me, David, because I like outlines, I like guardrails, I like what's the structure. So we're going to really dig into the structure of the why. But can I give everyone an exercise real quick? David, you could do this as well. I don't think I've ever done this exercise on a call, but somebody did this recently with me. I was in the room. I thought, wow, this is really powerful. So here's what I want you to do. Go to your top 5 customers, like the text thread between you and your top 5 customers, like your number one, the person the best. You get so much business. I guarantee you they're more friends than they are customers, right? You're deep. Somebody said customers send checks, friends send fortunes, right? You've built a relationship so deep with them. You know the name of their cat. You know the name of their 5 kids, 2 kids, whatever. Okay, go to that text thread and just scroll for a little while backwards. Just scroll. And I want you just to meditate on that. Then go to your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And if you do this exercise, okay, and maybe just jot down those names real quick so that our attention stays here. But jot down those names. Go do this and look at what you say back and forth. Okay. Now, talk more like that with the clients you're trying to grow into better clients and with your prospects. I'm going to share some scripts today, David, but even at the chance that while I'm trying to share a script with enough structure, enough meat to kind of share why we're doing this, at the chance, at the risk that even my script that I will share today and your script that we've developed, the chance and the risk is it's already too much. It's already too much. So just want us to think about. And then here's the other little litmus test, David, and I'm going to kick this over to you. If you send something, put yourself on the receiving end during this holiday season, the next 6 weeks, and say, how would this hit me? If it came to me, how would it hit me? If we can get more radical about talking to our good clients like their family and talking to our prospective clients like their friends. I did not text my wife this morning and say, hey, no, I mean, there's times where it's, hey, love, thinking about you, praying for you, whatever. But this morning, like, hey, I'm going to be bringing Olive Garden home. Hey, Jennifer, hope your day's off to a great start. No. Why? Because we're tight. We're intimate. He said, hey, I'm going to bring an Olive Garden home. I want you to be able to focus on your book club today, blah, blah, blah. Like, just that's how we direct communication to those we know. So I want us, if we can give you, if we can give each other a gift this holiday season with our messaging, it is this: lightweight it and be more like you. Be more like you in that messaging. So before we even dig into any of the scripting, I want to start there. David, like, what would you add? What's a message that's resonated the deepest with you recently from somebody reaching out?
I always like directness myself. I'm a very personable person. I like to connect. I'm a big emoji and exclamation mark, and like to wish them good morning and happy Wednesday and all of that. And I'll still do that, but then get into the reason. We've talked at nauseum about brevity and getting to the point. Tim, I love you've taught me to maybe pull those great feelings and those platitudes to the bottom. Lead right off with, Tim, I'm calling to talk about our schedule or whatever that might be, and then at the end you can a nice wrap up of hope the family is doing well. Your cat Max, which is my cat, I miss him on the road. He misses me, I know he does. So I do like that. What's interesting about the holidays this year, if my memory serves me correctly, Christmas Day and New Year's Day are a Wednesday, which I think gives us a great head start to the beginning of that next week. A lot of times it's at the end of the week and people take the whole weeks off after, or so I think if we can hit the ground running by January 5th, I love the messaging, about pressing that, filling that calendar then, because if someone has the need now, if you're saying, Tim, can I meet, do you have time for me on January 8th? It's like, yes, I do, but I would love to talk to you now because of boom. That stuff will, those pressing needs, those urgent needs will come to the forefront. And I think it puts you in a good position for that. Just a quick thing about Thanksgiving. I've always, it's interesting. A lot of companies like to give thanks to their clients and they buy gifts and they send that at Christmas, which gets caught in this swell of pecan pies and turkeys and all this stuff being delivered. And like, you almost have to really step it up to stand out or be very personal. Tim, the year that your kids drew logos, wrote notes to your clients, right, there wasn't a gift that those people received that was any more heartwarming or had any greater longevity than that, because that came from the heart. But I'm a big proponent. Like, if you're going to go spend money, I know it's late because we're 10 days from Thanksgiving. Go thank someone now. Thank them at Thanksgiving. You're not going to get caught up in that crowd of, oh my God, I got 20 gifts. Oh, here comes another gift box. Sally, you want to go take it? Or Jim? No, man, I just had the last one. If you want to stand out, make it personal from the heart. And if you can get out of the holiday season, I shared this with my wife, Susie, for her company stuff. They didn't agree with me, and they're going to do it at the normal holiday time. I don't win them all. I want to, though. But I think that, really positioning yourself now. Another thing I like about filling the calendar for early January now, like if I call Tim, can you meet with me today? I mean, that's desperate. I'm showing I'm desperate. I don't have anything on my calendar for today or tomorrow. that's not someone that most people like to do business with. So again, put it out there in the future, early January, if there's a pressing need, and you might want to close in a conversation. Of course, if you need it between now and then, please let me know. We're doing X or we're making strides Y. You can still give a little bit of a value prop, but you're not taking their time. It's interesting. We get to the end of the year, and depending on who you're calling on, we should never lose sight on what are they doing. When I was coaching in the Microsoft channel, we were calling on CFOs and financial people. And if I go start calling them at the end of a quarter, especially at the end of the year, I lose sight on what they're involved in. Like I'm a nuisance if I'm reaching out to a CFO late December when he's wanting to close his books. The stock's if it's a publicly traded company, it's going to affect the stock price. I mean, I'm an annoyance at that point. So never lose sight on what your clients and future clients that you're connecting with, what's important to them at that time. And in that regard, December, what's important is getting to the end of the year for themselves and hopefully carving out some great time for the family.
I love that you say that, and it kind of goes back to that point we said, guys, put yourself on the receiving end, not just as a human to human, but more of a position, of a positional thing. What's their position? What do they do? Right? Some of your good clients, some of your prospective clients, if you know enough about them, put yourself in their shoes positionally. What are they up to right now? What's going on in their life? And try to speak into some of that. Now, that's the fantastic stuff, David. Real quick too. We talked about December business plan. We talked about January being vision boards. In February, we are going to dive really, really deep. In fact, some of you all on this call will be with me at our live in-person Energize events in January. If you're a title agency owner or manager, so this will really come out of Energize. You'll hear more about this, but we're going to do some intensive workshops in February, all about priority and time management. Because to David's point, like right now, so I would look at my top 5 clients. How do I talk to them? Take some notes. Okay. That's an exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, look at January and February. Just look at those months and start carving out in those months, days, block it. Block some days now that your team can't have access to. Let them know. I've blocked, 10 power days where I'm going to be meeting with 5 of our global accounts and 5 brand new prospects. I've blocked these days. Please don't book anything on these days. Communicate that and then go sell those days. It's all your job is sell those days. Let's get together. Boom. Here's a couple of date options. Let's get together. I've got some questions to ask you. I think will really excite you about potential. We will help you do all that in the workshops, but please look at your calendars now and block some days. Exercise number 2. But let's get into the main bulk, the whole meat of today, scripting around this year-end season so that you can take and maximize 6 weeks. Again, any opportunity that's out there, you'll hear of using something like this on this structure. You'll hear of from people. But here's how this looks. All right. So again, we're going to give some client messaging structure, and then we're going to give some prospective client messaging structure. And there's some options here. All right. So I'm going to make it kind of like a little recipe here. But anyway, go ahead and look in the chat. You could take this and copy and paste out of the chat. Like we're going to make this super simple for you guys. Copy and paste right out of the chat. So let's talk about this for a second though. Client messaging structure. I call this a GVQ. Okay. GVQ. Let me explain why it's GVQ. I believe that gratitude opens up doors. I believe gratitude is I would say it this way, one of the highest emotional responses that we can bring to the world. I mean, in personal life, it's easier to see the problems than it is to see what went good. You try this when you go home next and you see the mess that your kid created and you forget to look at their homework art piece that they brought that got piled under already on the counter. Like there's a mess, but there's a beautiful piece of art. And which one do we usually see first? It's the mess. It's the thing that's out of order. So one of the highest emotional responses we can bring to the world as mature and growing and growth-minded people, professionals, is gratitude. So I start with gratitude because you can pick up somebody that you've not talked to in 12 months through gratitude. You can pick up somebody you just closed a big deal with yesterday with gratitude. All right. So gratitude is where we start. But I think a lot of times we start with gratitude and we might just jump to kind of like a quick question. And then it kind of like offsets the gratitude a little bit because we're just kind of like, oh, that was great. Thank you. And then, oh, here's the thing. Here's my question. the other thing is, I think a lot of times we don't even use a question, we use statements. Um, Thank you so much, and I'm really hoping to get your next deal. That's a statement, right?
I bet you are.
So that happens a lot. Now, what I like to do, especially as a year end, because year end gives us an excuse to give a vision statement. So what I like to gratitude and then jump or segue into vision. Vision is all around. Okay. I want to dig into your head a little bit. What are you up to? What do you want to be up to? What does 2025 look like for you? Okay. And also, vision has a lot to do with what we do together. Okay.
Mhm.
So, vision can go a lot of places for you, but I would say prioritize their vision. Okay. End of year, prioritize their vision. Okay. And then question. We always start, we want to look at our scripting more than ever before. How can I insert a question mark? Why? Because it's the most powerful way to get engagement. But the other thing is, my buddy Ryan Estes, and I use this quote, and it's probably become my life quote as a sales professional. And I've had a lot, but Ryan right now is just he's hit on a nerve for me, which is so powerful. He said like this: selling is listening, not talking. Selling is asking, not telling. I'll say it again: selling is listening, not talking. Selling is um, asking, not telling. So LA, okay, LA. Just think Los Angeles Chargers, LA. They just beat my Bengals yesterday.
Yes, they did.
They did. They did a really good job. Herbert's very hot right now. And I think there's a lot of potential. If you're an LA Charger, you should be very happy right now. There's a lot of potential for you guys. But just think LA, listening, asking, listening, asking, listening, asking. Take TNT out. Telling, talking, telling, talking. So why do we say take your scripting and end with a question? We want to end with a question. All right. Start doing that more so that the ball is now in their court intentionally. You want to hear back. This whole thank you so much for your deal. I hope to see the next one. Or I hope to see, like, for instance, I fall into the same trap. Hey guys, meeting today. See you in an hour. Here's what we're going to be going over. Hope to see you there. How could Tim Hooper apply Tim Hooper's own medicine here? Will we see you there? Question mark. It's you could take whatever you want to make as a statement and figure out how to turn it into a question.
Mhm.
And it changes literally everything. Changes everything. Because now you're putting the ball in someone else's court. Will they see me there? Is there any reason they shouldn't see me there? I don't have anything going on. Sure, I'll jump on. Hope to see you there? Yeah, everybody hopes to see me there. Ball's not really my court. They hope. They're not really hoping I'm there. They're just saying that. Like, it just, you can, it's just, do you see the difference? It's so powerful.
Mhm.
So the GVQ method of reaching out at this time is very, very powerful. Now, David, I'm going to kick it over to you because I know gratitude is something we practice. I mean, we practice very intentionally because as German professionals, it's easy to kind of just, what's next? What's next? So gratitude, slowing down, vision, like being super lifting up event, like prioritizing them. What is your vision? And then question, ending with a call to action as a question. Those three things we've developed, we've practiced, and we've built a lot of scripts around. What would you add to those? And I'm going to start pasting in some actual scripting ideas that you guys can take it run with.
Great topic and very good presentation. What's interesting, I just want to talk about gratitude and a way to possibly help a certain subset of folks. Tim, you send me a lot of gratitudes. You'll see something that reminds you, and you tell me what it means. And I'm a humble person, and I almost, without the why and the impact that it brought to you, I kind of feel like I'm too humble. It's like I don't deserve this. So not only thanking someone for something, share with them why it was important to you. Because that for those of us that are humble, it can make it, we can internalize a little bit better. Like, Tim, you'll send me stuff. A lot of times people aren't used to getting gratitude. There are a lot of positions and thankless jobs, and they have to do their jobs, and they're hard jobs, and leaders don't thank them. So I feel a little awkward when someone thanks me and shows graciousness and gratitude. And I feel, internally in a kind of a weird little spot. So when you're doing that, share what it means to you. And because then it deepens. It's like, wow, okay, he's thanking me, and now I see the depth of what it helped him. And so now I can accept the gratitude a little easier. And it's kind of a weird thing. because a lot of times we get embarrassed by it. Now, one thing to never say, and I know we're not supposed to say always and never in communication, don't say no problem, because that gives the weirdest message. Like, oh, wow, I'm glad it wasn't a problem for
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
Whoa, it could have been a problem.
Right.
Glad it. So you're going to, as you show your gratitude more and more, there are going to be those that are humble or are not used to receiving that very often. They're going to feel a little embarrassed or not standoffish, but like, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. And like, then it's like, I don't want to make an impact because when someone thanks me and shows gratitude, I feel weird. So I pull myself out of the situation. But share the why, like with any of this, share the why. I
Yeah.
love the fact, switching to vision. I love the questions and the vision to ask the question at the end. And I need to look back on mine. Sometimes I do, a lot of times I don't. Um, I the fact of, will I see you there, is so direct
Yeah.
that if I am not going to be there, I feel like I have to tell Tim, oh
Why?
man,
Why
I'm
I'm not?
not.
Yep.
But, and then the conversation continues. Great, we'll miss you. I'll send you the notes, or we can connect tomorrow and I can give you the highlights. It just continues that conversation. It's so deep. And I need to look back on my written communication, especially to see if I'm ending with a question that's open ended. Because hope to see you soon. Yeah, I bet you do hope to see me soon. Will I see you tomorrow on the webinar? Is is that's strong. So
It's
I learn all
really,
the time from you. And that was a big
well,
one.
it's a powerful flip. And even sometimes too, hey, David, quick question, right? So whatever you're ending whatever you're ending with, if you see the first line of your message, hey, David, quick question. So tomorrow, or hey, in an hour, we have this thing going on. Here's what we're going to go over. Will I see you there? You basically were saying quick question, and now the brain is looking through this message. Now, don't make it too, again, less is more, but the brain is looking through the message for the question. So even doing something like, hey, David, quick question, right? And then end with a question can be very, very powerful. My thing is, ask a good question at the end. But sometimes if you, hey, David, today on the call, we're going to go over, and again, powerful, but maybe they just stop reading right there. Hey, David, quick question. Today on the call, we're going to go over, what's the question?
I got to go to the question. I got to find it. Where's that
Right.
question?
Correct.
I
So,
think also, sorry to interrupt.
no, all good.
We talked just a couple minutes ago about filling that calendar in January. A great ending. What does your calendar look like in the first week of January?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think I would give an option necessarily of first or second week, because they're going to always say second week. But again, you want to continue that. So it's a perfect place to ask that. Tell them that you would like to meet, and then directly pick a time or a couple days or a day. You're going to be in your area on January 8th.
It's
Is
powerful.
there a time that might work for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All right. So let's go over,
yeah,
let's jump into some
yeah.
gratitude and some vision and some questions that you can literally package together as a script to end this year strong with. And here's what we're going to focus on here. Okay. We're going to focus on clients who just used us recently. We're going to focus on clients who haven't used us in a little while. Okay. They've gotten a little cold. So think about somebody who's used you in the last 30 days. As I coach teams, I call that hot. Or either they use you or they're talking to you about using you, right? Last 30 days, they're in the pipeline. That's hot. Okay. Last 30 days. Within the last 6 months, I would say, okay, if I've not spoken to somebody, if I've not exchanged vocals, if I don't know what's up in their life, but they placed some business with me 6 months ago, I would call that one warm. Okay. Within 6 months, I would call warm. Some people would say 90 days. I think 6 months, especially in our industry with real estate, things are cyclical, and I think 6 months is a warm. Now, if it's gone 12 months, okay, then I would call that one, you've gone cold. They're probably working with somebody else, or they're talking with somebody else. If you've not heard anything, now if they keep you back in the loop with stuff when you send stuff out, your marketing email goes out, or you send something, they're like, thank you. Thank you so much for the little coupon to, Murfreesboro donut shop that you sent our family. I'm gonna take my kids out there next week after cheer. Like, okay, they're giving you some stuff back. You feel like, and you're commenting on social, you feel like that's warm, right? But if you've not exchanged vocals anyway in the last 12 months, they're cold. They're cold. Okay. So that's who we're going to go focus on. So I'm going to drop in the chat here and you can copy and paste these. Here are just some gratitude options. And again, these are options. You can take and move them around, a little smorgasbordy here, but you can take and move them around, make them your own. But here's just this year's been amazing. I'm truly grateful for all we've accomplished together. Thanks for the trust you've placed in me and my team. That's a great gratitude line. And just FYI, you could literally send gratitude and just saying gratitude. Then you could take vision, and we're going to share those in a little bit, and you could share that a couple weeks out from now or next week. And then you could share a question like between 2 weeks before, the Christmas holiday, you could share a question. So like you could do this in like a 3-prong approach. Okay. It's perfect. In fact, if you think about it, Thanksgiving, you got 2 weeks gratitude. Then you got a week that you can share vision, 1st of December. Hey, 2025 is right around the corner. I'm so stoked because I'm going to the Energy for Sales business planning session. I just want to reach out and say, what are your challenges? What are your opportunities? And then you can reach out a week before Christmas. Hey, enjoy the holiday. What does the first couple weeks of January look like? Could we get together? Because I want to share a few things and ask a few questions, dig into your vision. So you could literally 3-prong this, or you could package together. It really is up to you. But again, I'm trying to get ahead of my schedule. So I'm packaging because I want to tell them, thank you. Here's my vision. And can we get together? Because we're still 6 weeks out and I want to get something on the books. And what I'm seeing for me personally is I'm getting people on the books right now. I'm still loading December 11th, just today, December 10th, like loading up still in December because they're like, yeah, no, Tim, I've been meaning to get in touch. Great question. Can we meet sooner? 100%. 100%. So you're going to find opportunities as we finish 6 weeks strong by leveraging this. So gratitude. David, any of this right here in the chat you want to dig into? Anything you would add? Again, just give me some options here, but anything you would add as far as packaging or separating these out into their own messaging or?
No, I think they're all super strong. And I like we talked earlier about campaigns and cadences and sequences. This makes for a very nice 3-touch sequence between now and really in a little less than a month, about 4 weeks. Because you're going to most probably leave these folks alone a little bit past mid-December. Again, this falls right in. I think that, take it, make it your own a bit. And it's a great 3 touches. I love the holidays. I love Thanksgiving because you can just get your name in front of them without any ask, just wishing them, as we enter this holiday season and Thanksgiving, always thankful for the relationship we have and wishing you and your family the best. That's pretty simple. So sequencing and a little campaign allows you, because look, we're all in sales. We want to can I get in front of you? Is there something you need? We have to push this stuff back. And this is a great, knowing that you're going to just give them gratitude for the relationship, wish them a great Thanksgiving, knowing that there's going to be 2 more touches before the end of the year will help you just stay pure in your gratitude.
Yeah.
So I like these, and I really like the 3 touch before the end of the year, and then leave them alone. Because to your point, you were looking at your January meetings and people that had the need for something now, who had sounds like even a little bit of guilt that they needed to get back to you or they wanted to get back to you and haven't. They're going to come forward. They're going to fill that December calendar.
Yeah.
So you don't have to press for it.
Right. So
having limited availability is sexy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not reaching out to me to fill tomorrow. Well, he's way out there. He must be in high demand. He doesn't even want me on his calendar. Like I need to get in there. That's someone I want to, I need to connect with. So
I love it. And so the next phase of this, David, I love it. And again, sequencing, packaging, whatever you want to do, I believe sequencing gives you more, but I also think caution, don't start and then not finish. And some of us we're going to get to the end of the year and feel like, oh, I fell down on the sequencing because we don't have a good plan. You do need to have a plan for sequencing. And sequencing might be everybody. You might do a 3-prong message and send it to everybody on your list and just go for it. But you need to put it on your calendar now. First touch, gratitude. Second touch, and then plan and get it there. And then go and execute and get it done. But if you're just scrambling because you don't even have your list together and you need your marketing team's help to get everybody messaged and it just feels like a big chore for you, I would say package, get something out there, because then you can now zoom in. Again, when we talk about time blocking, we're going to talk about you need a time block around 30 individuals every 90 days. You really need to think about who can move my business forward, growable accounts, and who prospective can move my business forward, and then go time block around those accounts. So
Mhm.
when I say tee yourself up for that, it's get a message out to everybody and then pick those 30 that you can now go back to that message and, hey, resurfacing this, could we get together? Right. So, David, you said something earlier. And again, it's all about that powerful, are you coming? Hey, David, I can't make it. Hey, no worries. I'll take notes and get, I love doing this. If you see like an event in the industry, something big going on, hey, are you going to the thing? It might not even be your thing. Are you going to the thing? No, I'm not going to the thing. Okay, tell you what, I am. I'll take some notes. Let's get together. Let's get coffee. Beginning of the year, like get together. So again, just thinking through that, it's all about continuing that conversation. But for to stay on track here, gratitude, open it up with gratitude. And here's the thing, guys. You might not like anything you see on the screen right now. Totally fine. This is Tim spitballing. In fact, I take these and spitball, and I spitball some more when I'm sending them out. So gratitude, okay? But then vision would be something like this. Now, I'm going to talk specifically to those of you on this call who are working with another business professional. You're working business to business. You have a referral partner. You have somebody on track that's helping the end user. Okay, this is not an end user script. I'm going to share an end user script at the end, but this is more a business partner, referral partner script. So for vision, the next line would go, and you could just package these together. So you got gratitude. And the next one would be, hey, I'm reaching out because I want to help you finish this year strong. They're just like you. All right. How are you finishing this year strong? I'm reaching out because I would love to help. You could flip that to a question, and then boom, I'm here to help. But I know this season's often hectic. Okay, we're talking about finishing 6 weeks strong here. Okay, we already talked about let's get together in January. We've talked about that scripting. This is actually going out for some deals in your pipeline right now with your clients right now. With somebody who might have dropped off back in January, hasn't used you yet, reach out now. I want to help you make this hectic time, that's typically a hectic time, as smooth as possible. My goal is to ensure every closing reflects the best of what you offer. I'm here to take the complexity out of the transaction, give your clients an exceptional. Think about them. David said it earlier. What is happening in their world? It's the holidays. If you're a real estate agent or mortgage banker, it's the holidays, and it is hectic if somebody's trying to make a move. Even if they're making a move in January, it's still hectic. All the questions, all the stuff before the holidays. So get ahead of this and put yourself in their shoes. I want to make it as smooth as possible so the holidays can be memorable. And then there's the third one in here. I want to help make this holiday season seamless. So just some options here. You could mix and match, but take this and run with something. This is digging into what do they have in their pipeline right now. All right. And you say, how do I end with a question? David, would you add anything to vision? I know, again, there's business to business, business to customer, and I'm going to share some business to customer. If you're a real estate agent on the call, I've got some scripts for you to send out to your actual home buyers and sellers. Okay. So stay tuned. But David, what would you add when you're reaching out, thinking about a 6 week period? Anything you tweak on these or add or challenge us with?
Well, I think learning the power of ending in a question. If you're talking about making it seamless for them, it's very logical at the very end. Are there some areas that you need some help? Are there some areas I can help make it seamless for you?
Yep.
Opening it right back up, just tying right back in. Again, yes, you're hoping that the answer is sure. I've got all of these closings, and I could sure use some help. But I think that very very logical to ask that because if you're really helping your clients and the world make it seamless, go ahead and ask them. Is there anything that I can help you with to make this a seam? And I tie it back into the theme of the email if that's where you want it. I think it's super strong.
It's great. Let's jump into questions. So again, let's back up here a second. David, it's been a while, but I always remember the great experience we had working together. I'm reaching out because I genuinely appreciate our partnership. I'd love to support you as we wrap up this year. Okay. Then exactly next week, or in the same message, whichever one you choose, I'm reaching out, or David, I reached out to you last week to say thank you. And I'm wondering, as you finish the year strong, how I can be of service to you, because I know it's often very, very hectic. And I want to make this memorable for your clients. Okay. So then a week later, coming back at David and just, again, whenever you tie something together, just tie it back. I reached out last week to say thanks. I meant it. Like, I'm reaching out now as you finish this year strong. It's often hectic time. I want to make it seamless. I'm here for you. And then you turn right around and you could package 2 and 3. You could package the vision and question together. Like, it really all
Yep.
depends. It's up to you. But here's the deal, David. What deals are what's in your pipeline right now? What could I get? What could we connect on and get ahead of before January? Um, I want to make this a great experience. Like, choose one of these questions. What deals are you working on right now? What transactions or listings do you have coming up that we could chat about? Again, you could use the word chat, connect, visit, jump on Zoom, jump on a call. Use you. Put your emojis all over this. Put you into this. But
Mm-hmm.
it's the GVQ. That's the main thing here. Gratitude, vision, next six. How are you going to finish strong? How are you charging into 2025? And then boom, here's the question. Be specific enough to generate a specific enough result. If you're not specific enough, and that's where it's like, what deals are you working on right now? Okay. The other thing is, what deal are you working on right now? Doesn't cut it for me because it looks like you're hunting for a deal. Okay. What deals are you working on? You say, well, I know no one's really busy. They're probably just, nope, don't assume. What deals are you working on? Because they might already have one already in the hopper with somebody else, but they may have one coming up in January. You're asking
Mm-hmm.
deals, plural. Always be thinking. Here's a strategy with any message you send out. Always try to make a pie bigger. Always try to make a pie bigger. And assume the best. Assume the best. What deals? David, your business has to be flourishing. I see you around everywhere. What deals are you working on, right? So that's the reason we use the plural there. And then what's in your pipeline? I think for somebody who's really growth minded, very structured in this business, that generates respect because what's in your pipeline says, I want to have a business conversation with you. Because now we can talk like systems and processes. How can I get ahead and make great experiences? How can I help you in your pipeline, right? So again, just think about the way you're asking, who you're talking to, put yourself in the lens. But anyone with a question is so very, very powerful. Now, David, this is ending 6 weeks strong. If you were to flip a question into or a vision into, you just want to sit down with somebody, have coffee. So gratitude always works. But what would that vision for you look like? So you have the gratitude. Tim, it's been great working with you this year. Getting ahead of 2025, I'd love to schedule some time, set apart. How would you verbalize a vision point and a question point of getting together for a sit down or a coffee? We
You know,
call you.
my mind has gone the last couple of minutes as you were talking to, um, look, all of our companies are going to ask more from us next year than we have this year. I think it's very logical, Tim. As you can imagine, my organization, I'm expecting growth, and I'm wondering if we can have a conversation to see if there's some other areas that you're not taking advantage of with us, or more of the same, to help you. They can, almost, can I count you in on my 15% growth strategy? Like, without saying, are you going to get more? So I think that if you stay in the vision and what the year will be about, I think that's a good place. I believe that, going back to the question, if you're going down the theme of making it easy for them, is there anything that might be stuck here at the end of the year or at the very start of the year that possibly I could help you with? Those are some scenarios because you're right. If you make it general, if I ask you, hey, you got any referrals for me? It's like your mind goes, like, what does he really need? But if I ask you,
That's good.
I'm needing a plumber to do this, now someone comes to your mind. So the more you can always like package it with a specific ask, even if it's growth minded, you know. So that's where my mind went. Also, I'm thinking, I bought a couple books, and if there's someone I want to share it with, then I will, I read a book. I would like to, get together with you about, talk a little bit about the book. This book is called "This is Strategy" by Seth Godin. Tim, if you ever get back home and open that package, there's actually one in there.
Is there
So
really?
I just
Oh
ruined that
man.
surprise for you. I
Oh
told you
man.
there was
Does
something
not
in there for
surprise me at
everybody.
all. Does not surprise me at
So,
all. So
being specific, again, you've got a nice little 3-step campaign coming, and be specific. Let them know. People need to know if you're launching a new area of the business, or you've had a new area of the business that this client does not take advantage of. We're getting great traction from X. Wondering if we can spend some time. I can share with you our successes. I'm not saying, Tim, can you buy X from me, or can you look? But I am wanting to open up the fact that that we have this. I'm aware that you're not taking advantage of it, and I'd love to share how we've helped others that are similar to you.
David, I love it. Basically, what you're saying is take vision and create vision. Take that point of vision and creating vision. They might not even see this product you have. They might not see this additional line. You may be a real estate agent on here and you just got licensed in a new state. Hey, it's been so great working with you in the past. Wanted to let you know I'm seeing a lot of clients now pull me in for some of their North Carolina needs because I just recently was licensed there. Would love to sit down in January and talk with you about your vision for boom, right? So speaking of, I promised you, if you're client, if you're direct to consumer, some scripting, and this scripting kind of mixes questions a little earlier in the script, but it kind of makes it, I call this their goals oriented scripts, their goals. Okay. So I'm going to paste these in here momentarily. Let's see here. Again, their goals, focus on their goals, their win. And let's see here. Let me hit copy, try to get this. I think it might've been a little too long. Try this. Their goals. How can I make this year a success for you? What's on your mind for this upcoming year? Here we go. All right, there's 2, and I've got a couple more coming your way. So if you're in real estate, or if you're a lender, if you're a mortgage banker on the call, these are perfect for you to send out year end. You could do these through a text campaign. You can do these through a video email. You guys know I love video emails. You could do this through a phone call. If you want to do a phone call, leave a brief voicemail. Here's a script you can literally leave in a voicemail that will come across very professionally, very, here's the other thing, concise, no rambling involved here. And so just as we look at these, I would say, take a look at how you can mix this up, and don't just default to email. I think email gets lost too often for all of us. I mean, I get important emails that get lost because there's just so much coming in. Whereas if I could put this in a email and then text somebody, maybe, hey, just sent you an email, or email and a phone call, or a video message and then a text message or a resurface of that. Just try to think more about less is more. Can I give you a quick strategy, guys? The big companies who spend billions of dollars on human psychology and communication best practices, they spend billions of dollars. We don't have that kind of a budget to do the research, but big companies, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, like these companies have all figured it out. Sprouts, anything you sign up for. Here's what they figured out. When somebody signs up for something, they send you about 3 or 4 emails. Hey, your name just changed. Your password just changed. Have you checked out the user platform? Have you done this? Hey, you're going to be getting this. Did you opt in for this? They send all at once. Why? Do you ever get mad? No, because you actually you started something. You never got mad. It's all there. What are they doing psychologically? They are highlighting in your inbox that they're communicating with you now. And so why do we think we could just send out one message email and then we get all up in our head about rejection? Oh, this person doesn't like me. They rejected. They don't respond. Why do we do that? We don't even do that for a big brand. Like people like you even more than the big brand, because you're a small brand. Like you're not small, but you're like a more personal brand. They like you even more. But why do we get up in our head? So what I would say is really think about how to send these messages, these scripts here, through a omni-channel approach, be it text message and then ping them in an email, ping them in a text message, send out a video message, then a phone call the next week. Kind of more of a highlighter, if you will. Just, hey, I'm here. I really want to talk to you. So, all right, David.
Yeah, I mean,
before we wrap this thing up,
Tim, you're spot on. What's interesting, as with most companies right now, it's open enrollment period. And so I wanted to look at pet insurance. So go to the site, have to put in Phoebe's stuff, Max's stuff, get my pricing, realize I don't have to do it inside of my company portal. So I've got a little bit of time, but There you go. There's my email. Hey, following up on Max's plan, following up on Phoebe's plan. Oh, they have a text message as well. So that omni channel, I started the game. I entered the
Mm,
octagon. So now let's go Rumble. And so it does give them an opportunity to do that. And they also know that the time between initial interest and it being an emotional decision, they got to capture me right then. Like now it's been about
it's
4 or 5 days. I'm wondering what they're thinking. Like, are they going to get it? But I'm sure they have Figo or Figo is the company. I'm sure they have a plan. They know exactly the psychology around it. We got to get
Yep.
back to David. I don't, hopefully they don't send me a picture of a cat or a dog passing away. So,
Dude.
but they've got it. I mean, buying decisions are emotional,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's timely, and so I've got that going on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I think I will probably go with it. So.
It's
But they
fantastic.
know the type of breed of my cat. They know it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
imagine at some point they're going to show me a Himalayan cat. Like Max needs protection. I don't know. So
Oh, that's great. And you know what though, the more personalization, the more again, take these scripts and then I would rather over personalize than not. They don't need to sound stuffy and stale. Like I said to start this whole thing off, at the risk of having too much. I mean, we're kind of giving scripting so that you kind of get the flow, the feel, but go make this your own. If you could say what we said in 2 sentences in like half a sentence, do it, right? But make sure that the
yeah,
context is there. Make sure your heart is there. Don't lose the emotion. So absolutely, absolutely. Hey, real quick, there's a question in the chat, and I'm so glad. Thank you so very much for asking this because I do not know what's going on with the setting that wouldn't allow you guys to grab this out of the chat. So I'm so glad you said something. Thank you. But yes, you can absolutely. I'm gonna put a Word doc up in here real quick. So let me just get this up here for you guys uploaded. End of year scripts is what it's going to be called. And then somebody, if you can give me a thumbs up that you were able to download this, I'm going to put it as a Word doc because apparently you can't copy and paste out of the chat. I'm so sorry about that. So it's going to be Energy for Sales end of year scripts, and we're going to send that up right now into the chat, save, and then you guys should have that here momentarily. David, maybe you can double check, make sure it comes through as well. Attach, able to attach a file. There we go. Get this from the computer. Awesome. Thank you guys. I love the feedback, the live feedback on the call. I never want to take for granted that technology works exactly as I had planned it. But let me get into my folder here. David, as we're wrapping this thing, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about connection. It's all about whoever right now connects more boldly, whoever connects more humanly is going to win more sales conversations, going to win more business. But this is the absolute time of year to do it. So what would you add as far as just the mindset, the philosophy of connecting boldly, not getting in your own head?
really not much to add. This is I love these sessions. When we started this, we started doing our podcast. The feeling of, man, it'd be great if we did a live podcast, and this is exactly why to do it. And learning from each other. Hopefully, the Word document is able to be downloaded. But now's the time for gratitude. Take that into your personal lives as well, your family, your friends, those around you, and show someone how much you care. So
Yeah,
great
I'll
work,
end with
sir.
a quick.
Thanks.
I'll end with a quick story, and some of y'all have heard this before. But when my wife was first diagnosed with breast cancer, beginning of 2020, and the pandemic had just hit. Everything's being shut down. I had like about 20 speaking engagements, which I was actively moving to Zoom. Some of those companies weren't even familiar with like how to use Zoom, so we're doing that. We're flipping to Zoom. We're doing all this. I had some commitments out to people. I'm just reshuffling stuff. And three trips a week to UVA. We're going through all the biopsies, all the stuff. And so I was just at this moment in time pulling in family, leaning on support for help. Like, hey, can you handle this? Can you? And it was fine, but I couldn't handle one more thing. And I never forget, I'm on a Zoom call with about 120 mortgage bankers doing an intensive coaching with us, one specific company. And my phone rings. Of course, it's silence, but I see it coming through. And my friend Chris is calling me. And now Chris was working for a software provider at the time. And she was one of the most amazing reps, still is to this day, amazing rep. And about the time she was with a software company. And I had promised her a referral into one of our good title companies. I promised a referral. So what happened psychologically, emotionally when that phone call came in? As I'm coach, I see her name. What happened psychologically for me was guilt. Anybody else feel this way? Oh, bummer. I forgot to introduce Chris. And at this moment in time, I don't even see how, because I wanted to call the company, give them some context. I didn't want to just dump her to them. I wanted a nice intro. So for me, that was like thoughtful work that I didn't want to rush. And so for me, it was one more to-do list item that I had failed somebody on. And if you guys know me, I pride myself on, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. Okay. So guilt. Now, who on the call wants guilt to happen when you reach out to your customer? None of you will be raising your hands right now. Nobody. None of us want. Chris did not intend that, but she called me. Now, I did not get to her voicemail till about 11 p.m. that night. As my wife was snuggled up, we're kind of just made it through another day. We're at the end of the day, like, okay, let's go to bed. Let's just snuggle up. And I'm just going through missed calls. Hey, day got away from me. I'll call you in the morning. Hey, I'll give you a buzz back. I'm going through a couple of emails and I'm just kind of trying to wrap up for the night so I can go to bed and get some sleep. And I get to her 10-second voicemail. That this was 4 years ago. No transcription came through. 10-second voicemail. And I thought in that moment, David, I can actually listen to this. I have 10 seconds. I mean, it was not 2 minutes. It was 10 seconds. And all her voicemail said was, Tim, I heard the news. My sister walked through what your wife's walking through. I just want to reach out and say, I'm so sorry. And if you guys need anything, call me. And I'll tell you, after a very emotionally draining day, I just teared up as Chris gave me a gift. She gave me a gift of herself. She gave me a gift of no agenda. She gave me the gift of putting herself in my shoes with nothing else. So I will tell you guys, as we end, giving you guys some great seed thoughts, this script may not be for everybody. What I would say is one of your clients may be going through a tough time right now, and all you need to do is ditch the script and just reach out with nothing but empathy and say, I'm here. So I want to end this session on scripting and powerful messaging that matters to say the only message that matters to somebody going through hell is I'm here and I'm a shoulder to lean on. So please do not get lost in the sauce of a sales training that gives you scripting, because I think scripting is powerful, but I think there's nothing more powerful than genuine empathy. So I'll end there. David, pass the microphone back to you, man. Wrap us up, bring us in for a close.
No, I'm done. We're going to end on that.
Well,
lead with your heart. Lead with your heart on all of it, on everything.
Yeah. Connection that converts has to start with connection that counts. Connection that converts. You want the deal. It has to start with connection that actually counts. And it'll only count if you put yourself in the shoes of the person receiving. Guys, thank you for joining us today. We promise some time back in your day. We have Thanksgiving next week. Enjoy your families, enjoy your clients, enjoy time. And thank you. Dave and I are here to say thank you for supporting us, for being on these calls, for getting the message of energy for sales, that sales can and should be a lot of fun. That connection is fun. And it's all about better connection, better pizza. No, I'm sorry. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Papa John's.
Better connection, better sales. All right, guys. Go have some fun. Yeah, David, I appreciate you so much.
Take care, everyone. Same here, brother.